there are variable and periodic expenses. And those are things that can kind of blow up a budget if they're not accounted for. So we not only need to look at the money that we're spending every week, every month, the regular bill, regular daily, weekly, monthly expenses, we need to look at the stuff we spend money on maybe once a year or twice a year. So car insurance, homeowners insurance, renters insurance, all that insurance stuff other than health insurance, life insurance even. A lot of times those are on an annual pay plan or a quarterly pay plan, that sort of thing. If you have those types of expenses, also things like car repair, home repair, oil changes, and if I have a flat tire, I gotta get another tire, that kind of stuff. Well, it's going to happen. You just don't know when it's going to happen. So you need to kind of figure, there needs to be a line item for these things, even though you're not spending it every single week or even month. So what do you do with that money that you're not spending, that you're allocating? Well, there's a couple things you can do. I still have the envelope system up there because everybody's probably familiar with it, at least anybody my age. But that's where you just take a certain amount of cash and you put it in envelopes. And I don't know how I feel about that. I can't say I really, I'm excited about having a bunch of cash around the house, but some people have a lot of success with that and it works. It has worked for decades. And so that's one thing you can do. And when the money's gone from the envelope, you don't spend anything else in that category till you put more cash in it. Another thing you can do is you can just get a notebook, just any notebook, and this isn't a notebook, but just imagine a paper notebook. You can open it up and you can make columns. So you can say, car repair, home repair, clothing, these things we don't spend money on every week, except some of you I know are like, hey man, I got to buy a new pair of shoes every week. Okay. But if you're not spending on it every week, if it's just every once in a while, put those on a notebook and then in a checking account, maybe a separate checking account that you open for this purpose. You decide how much you're going to set aside in each one of those categories, and wherever the total is, maybe it's $400, you drop that in there every paycheck or once a month or whatever. And then when you mark it in your notebook, you go ahead and break it up. So $50 is going for this, and 75 is going for that, and 150 is going for that until you get that $400 allocated for. Hope that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. But that's a way to do the same thing as the envelope system without having the actual cash sitting around the house. So, you could do that or some variation of those if you want to give that a try.